Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's Dr. Jan Fortman with the Relationship Matters TV show. I hope everyone is having a beautifully blessed morning, afternoon, or evening. Before we get started, and I'm really excited about getting started, but before we get started, I really would like everyone to lift a prayer and positive thoughts for the people in Los Angeles, California, and with the apocalyptic fires that are going on there, and the fact that people have lost so much. They've lost their homes. They've lost things that are so personal to them that can never be replaced. And then there were a loss of lives. So please lift up prayers for them. And there are different organizations that where you can donate all kinds of things, but just make sure that the organization is a real one and not one where people are just trying to get, scam you or get some money from you. And that's all I got to say, because I have a couple on that I am so excited about bringing to you. So let me tell you a little bit about them before I bring them on. Nancy Matthews and Barry Auchettl are transformative visionaries that destiny brought them together. Nancy lived in the United States and Barry in Australia. Opposite ends of the world. And they have gotten together. They've blended their gifts and expertise to equip us, all of us, in breaking through barriers, expanding our visions, and realizing our purpose and our paths to fulfillment and prosperity. Nancy is one of the founders of the Women's Prosperity Network, over 100,000 plus women all over the world. It's a community that I am a part of, all different kinds of entrepreneurs. And we're going to talk about it because, as I have told her, I don't recommend different networking opportunities, but I always recommend WPN. And Barry Ock-er-tell. He is known as the Blockbuster, and he has helped thousands of people clear blocks to optimal health, living their purpose, and amassing wealth through the Vision School. And he has a proprietary process called light body and alignment that we're going to talk about because I'm wondering about that. He's a best-selling author, spoken in 10 countries. When I grow up, I want to be just like him. And he's the creator of the Conversations game and producer and stars in a movie. It's called Vision 2020, and it's from Eyesight. Now, let me bring on this powerful couple. Hi, Nancy, and hi, Barry.
Hello, Dr. Jan.
Hi, Dr. Jan. How are you?
Thank you for having us on.
Oh, it is my pleasure, and it is an honor. And you know what?
What? Hi, Alicia.
She likes my new look. And you like
It's a good
Nancy's
one.
new look too. And then a couple other folks that just come in right now and started putting their comments in. Well, thank both of you, Alicia and Vernetta, for your comments. So let's get started. The first question that I want to ask.
Oh, yeah? You ready, honey?
How did you two meet? Well, it's three questions. How did you two meet? Was it love at first sight? Did you look into each other's eyes and there was an instant connection? It's really 4 questions. Or did your relationship evolve over time?
Well, I'll start with the first part because I first met Nancy in 2020. I came over and did a workshop and she was there. And I sat down, didn't know anyone in the room, and sat down next to Nancy. And we started talking, and I thought it was a really good conversation. And the next moment I turned my head, I turned back, and she's gone. And I thought,
I ran away.
and I thought, where's she gone to? And actually, the MC introduces her as the keynote speaker for the entire conference. So she's up there leading the show as the speaker. So I was really happy because I got to sort of meet the keynote speaker beforehand. So that was the introduction. And then she had to go home in one day, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I left that day, and this was in the February of 2020. So we all know what happened a couple of weeks later. So he goes back to Australia. I'm in Florida. That's it.
The walls come down. I am not allowed to leave the country.
Oh.
Because of COVID.
Yeah, okay. And
so what happens then is 2 years go by and we're friends. We're doing each other's workshops and, we do some masterminding together and things like that. And then in March, April, May, got to May of 2022, the doors open in Australia and I come back over. And I said to Nancy, I'm catching up with a few people. Can we catch up while I'm in America? And so we caught up and she says, but I'm going to Cocoa Beach. Do you want to come for a holiday with me in Cocoa Beach? Well, of course I do. So I said yes. And then what happened was we got to Cocoa Beach and I never went home.
So, yeah. And it's interesting because you asked the question, like, was it love at first sight? When he came back in May of 22, and we had developed a good friendship over the course of that 2 years. So isn't that fantastic that we became really great friends first? But when I saw him, now this is the first time I've seen him in person. Everything's been on Zoom. When you I feel like I know people on Zoom, but then when you meet him in person, you're like, oh, we've never met. And I look at him and I go, you're so much taller than I thought. And there was a little spark there for sure. There was a little spark right at the get-go. And the spark turned into flames and embers, and now we got married.
And I knew the second day, like Nancy didn't, but I knew the second day because I'd been in enough relationships to know what I wanted and what I didn't want.
Okay.
And I think there's a point sometimes when you know.
When you know,
and I said to her on the second day, I said, I could go through this whole pretense of, let's pretend, but this is my truth.
Okay.
On the second day. And I'm like, what? No.
When you know, you know. Wow. I love the love story. And Alicia says she loves seeing you two together.
Oh, thank you.
And
then in May last year, now that we're in January, in May last year, we went on a little cruise together to celebrate being officially together for 2 years. And while we're on the cruise, I asked for a special dessert. And Nancy goes, we don't need any more food. Let's see. And a big dish came out.
Yeah,
and she opens the dish and there's a ring.
Oh, wow. That's so romantic.
You did such a good job. And, I am nosy, curious, control freak. The fact that he could pull off a surprise like this was pretty incredible.
Wow. Wow. That's an inspiration, ladies out there who are single. Right. Yeah.
And I will say, I actually asked her twice. Because I asked her while we were at dinner and she said yes, and everyone claps us and it was all very nice. And we went back to the room, and I said to Nancy, I said, I know how nice you are. you wouldn't want me to look silly in front of everyone. So I'm just checking that it really was a yes.
It was.
It was. All right. And so when is the wedding?
April the 10th.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, congrats.
Thank you.
So you got together romantically, so to speak, but you were kind of working together. And in the bios, you said that you combined your gifts.
Well, one of the things that was really interesting, Jan, is when we first got together as a couple, we already had friends in common because we were part of this mastermind community. We've been working together and attending each other's programs and networking, right? And just about everyone who knew the both of us individually, when they heard we got together, they were like, oh, power couple, we can't wait to see what you create together. Okay. Right? And we're like, I don't know what that is.
And I had a really good answer, because I said to everyone, for 12 months, I want to focus on our relationship first.
Yeah.
Like, let's not go out and try to create a career together. Let's create a relationship and then see what happens.
Okay. So now you created your relationship, and I guess in a sense you discovered each other's gifts. But the question I have for you, Nancy, is for the audience out there, what are your gifts, and how did you discover that these were your gifts?
So my gifts, as I see them, is care. It begins with truly caring about other people and wanting to use whatever knowledge, skills, intuition, that I have to generously share it with others so that they can be their best and live their best. And part of the way that I do that is through deep listening to the people that I'm with and deep listening to the source that serves me.
Okay.
And through that connection, from God, from spirit, the divine, being one with another person, there's always the opportunity to be able to move forward. So that's part of my gifts, getting specific. I love communication. I really enjoy helping people reframe things so that they're not in as much angst or drama.
Okay. And Barry, what are your gifts, and how did you discover your gifts?
My major gift is unblocking the part in people, that light in people, so that they can shine. Like, that's the gift that I really have. And I do that through a process and various techniques. Where it came from, it was innately always there. But like a lot of us, something happens in life to sort of draw it out. And for me, when I was 33, I managed to work on myself and get out of classes, physical eyesight classes, which I was really happy with, and set up a business called iPower at the time, which was about improving eyesight.
Okay.
2 weeks after that, they found a pituitary tumor sitting on the optic nerve. And literally for 15 years, I went through operations and near-death experiences and things like that. So it was a real wake-up call for me to utilize the skills that I learned to improve my eyesight into life-enhancing skills, things like meditation, things like gratitude, things like energy healing. And so it's those gifts that I take with me now that support other people in allowing them to shine, because my idea is I can help so many people, but if I can help them to help others to shine, then we have that sort of follow-on effect.
Yeah, beautiful ripple effect.
And So why did you think, both of you, that you could blend your gifts rather than going into, Nancy going her way, so to speak? I mean, even though you're together as in a relationship,
Yeah.
Sure.
but that, Nancy do her thing and then Barry, you would do your thing, but deciding to just blend them together.
The books.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there were many signs that indicated we were meant to do something together. So my company is called Visions in Action. His company was called The Vision School. My book is called The One Philosophy. His book is called One Vision. Like, you can't make this up.
Wow.
And the blend of our work together and how it is unique comes from, his ability to be able to see and listen beyond what people are saying, and use his intuition and his various modalities to help eliminate limiting beliefs and blocks and sabotage patterns, and blended with my skill in communication and in business development and marketing. And, I'm often referred to as a vision architect. That combination has our clients become unstoppable.
Yeah. Wow. What? It was written.
Written in the stars, written in the book.
And it's still developing.
Yeah.
We're aware that this 1 + 1 is more than 2 here. There's a bigger reason why we're together, and Spirit has brought us together and we're even developing on what that is ourselves, because I don't think even we don't know what the end result is going to be.
And isn't that the fun mystery of life? And, if your audience, if there are entrepreneurs listening in, and you probably know this yourself, Dr. Jan, you start with a vision or an idea, and then it morphs and changes over time. And I think that's really important. You want to keep the essence of what you're bringing, but shift maybe how you're presenting it, or the way you deliver it, or who you deliver it to, because that's the ebb and flow, right? I would not want to just work in the same factory line my whole entire life.
And so for me, the vision school that we started with, only in the last few months, we have now transitioned that into Life Vision Academy.
Right.
So it's getting more about life, and our work is sort of slowly, as this is coming together, and we're running together what we call spiritual gatherings, so that as ministers, we can actually make a difference and allow people to shine even in that way. So there's just so many avenues that are coming up for us. And there's a movie coming out called The Frequency of Miracles, and we've been asked to be in there, and we've been,
really?
And that comes out with all the people from The Secret and things like that. And it's going to give us a chance, and we'll interview together. So it gives us a chance to showcase who we are together, like we're doing here now.
Oh, wow. That's really, look, Alicia says, wow. I got to say, wow.
And it's not even Wednesday.
Both had to say, wow. Okay. So now I want to get into something that both of you talk about, and that's like finding your purpose. So many people want to know what their purpose is. They don't know. How do you find your purpose?
I'll start from my side, because I've worked with hundreds of people on this same question. And I use a form of muscle testing and a technique I call light body alignment that clears the blocks really quickly. And what I notice with life purpose is people want to know, what am I meant to do?
Right.
And for me, that's the final aspect in this. There are 3 components. The first is, what was the spiritual aspect that we came down for? So for me, my highest purpose is to raise my own consciousness so that I can raise the consciousness of others. That was
Okay.
from a higher perspective. And then it's like, well, how can I be that? I can be that by being creative. I can be that by educating others. And then finally, how can I put that into action? I can do that through running programs and the conversations game and the movies we do.
Mm-hmm.
So I would suggest for people, rather than trying to go straight to what it is,
Mm-hmm.
start from that higher purpose of what called me to be here. You know, I believe that we are all here for a higher purpose.
Mm-hmm.
None of us are here to make up space on the planet. We're not just here for numbers. Every one of us has an inner calling that's unique to each one of us.
Okay. Nancy.
So much like what Barry said, that, there's a purpose that we're born with and here to carry out this unique way of being.
Mm-hmm.
And I would probably combine, looking at that higher purpose and calling with a practical approach as follows. This is kind of what I did to uncover what my passion is and what I really love to do. And, you can come at it from either direction, right? You can do a visualization, you can get into meditation and prayer, or if you tend to be more, I don't even know what the right word for me is, but be that as it may.
Pragmatic.
Pragmatic. Thank you, sir. See, look how helpful he is. It's fantastic. So what an activity that I suggest is for 7 days, if you're struggling to figure out what your purpose is or what your next direction is, for the next 7 days, keep a journal and notice and observe all the times you feel happy in whatever it is that you're doing or being. And if it's gardening and you're just happy doing that, if you're playing guitar, if you're cleaning the bathtub, whatever it is, if it's, writing email copy, if it's playing with spreadsheets, it can be anything. Notice where you feel happiest during your day and just keep a journal of that for 7 days. And then at the end of the 7 days, look back over it and you will find the thread of commonality of what is it in those things that brought you joy. So for example, if you're happiest working on spreadsheets, and I kind of like spreadsheets, I do, I get very excited, which is odd, right? You wouldn't necessarily think that, but I like spreadsheets. If that's what you like, the reason I like it is because it feels like a puzzle. So I'm taking all this other information and sticking it in and creating a puzzle, and the puzzle creates a story. I love stories.
Okay.
When I was doing real estate, that feels like a puzzle. I would do the research on finding out what's going on with the property, because I dealt a lot with properties that were in distress and foreclosure or estate properties. And I would look up all the legal records everywhere and find the common thread of the story. So if I think about it, everything that I love to do in my purpose is about helping people.
Okay. All right. So do you think that these are, well, first of all, to me, it's everybody has what I would call a spiritual gift.
Yeah.
And if you, it's akin to what you're saying about 7 days and noticing. But I think that even when we're kids, well, I think we're born with our spiritual gift. And even when we're kids, it kind of shows up in different ways.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I'm saying this because at my church, we had to do a spiritual, we did a spiritual gifts inventory, and it reflected, well, my gift it reflected in that inventory. And when I look back and I thought, okay, when I was a kid, before computers, and we could play outside,
Right.
that I always played school.
Yeah.
And I was always the teacher.
Mm.
I didn't want to be I didn't want to be the student. I wanted to be the teacher. And so when I look back, the thread, the commonality, when I connect the dots,
Yeah.
that's where I'm happy. Now, my husband says it's because I like to tell people what to do. That's not it. Maybe.
That's just a side benefit, I would think.
Maybe. But that's where I feel like I'm happy. When I'm educating, when I'm informing and stuff. So I can see what you're saying, but I would like to do that 7-day, just to write stuff down as to what it is that makes me happy.
And I want to say, just like what you just shared, when you look back and go over your life, when you were a child, you loved to play teacher. Here's the other part of the activity. Look back over all the different careers you've had, all the jobs you've had, and find the common thread, right? So when I look back, I was in the legal profession, and what I loved to do there was write the legal briefs to send to the judge, or persuasive articles telling the story of the people that I was representing to the other side. So it was persuasive. So I transferred that skill into copywriting. The clues are there.
And for me, I started off, my career started off as an accountant, which I believe. So, but it's great for when you're running your own business to have those skills. I then went into teaching, and I taught accounting, computers, and religion, and all different aspects. So
accounting and religion. Okay.
Very different combination. So I actually became a minister as well as doing accounting. And I was the very first using computers way back in the 1970s. So I've been using computers for a long time. And then created from there, transforming all of that into my own business initially. And then with Nancy has made those skills have just come in as needed, in running classes, as you said, playing teacher. I got to play teacher with students for 10 years and then actually started teaching adults. And sometimes adults have said, this reminds me back of when I was at school, it's like,
okay. Yes. Wow. And we have a comment, Greg Travis, he says, love that idea. Instead of relying on abstract thoughts or feelings, you'll have more objective insights about your passion. Yes, Greg. Very, very,
thank you, Greg.
Yes, thank you. And we have someone, Margaret Lance. Hello, Dr. Janice. Good morning from Glasgow.
Oh, I've never been there. You been
Not
there?
Not yet. On our bucket list.
Is that where we're going? That's not where
we're going. Okay, Margaret. That's on their bucket list. and thank you. I know it's probably 1:00 in the morning or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, thank you, Margaret. So now, when you are, both of you, when you are working with people, what barriers do you see that most people have that keeps them from living their purpose?
That's a good
one. I'm going to go first. Can I go first?
Of course you can, my love.
Thank you. The number one barrier that I believe is people's mindset, that what they're thinking, and in particular, hanging on to old stories about themselves. Stories about not being worthy enough or not deserving, not being lovable, and creating, a life around that I'm not really worthy of being successful. I'm not worthy of having the love of my life. And one of the things I find is that people often then say, well, what about an affirmation to support that? And I can give you an affirmation like, I am lovable. But if you don't really believe it, every time you say it, the back of your mind saying, no, I'm not. And then they'll say something like, well, say it 100 times. And our subconscious is going to say, no, I'm not, no, I'm not, no, I'm not, in the back of your mind. And we end up at the end of 100 times feeling less lovable about ourselves. So for me, it's really important to clear these, become aware of, first of all, and then clear these unconscious blocks behind us that stop us living our fullest life that we can do.
Okay.
And so awareness, and part of that initially is watch our language. What are we saying? And we get clues based on that.
I call it our language leaks our limiting beliefs.
Okay. All righty.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. I've got a couple of questions that came in that are text. So when we come back, and it's kind of deep. So so we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with Nancy and Barry. All righty, we are back with Nancy and Barry. So, okay.
Wait, before you do that, I need to comment on the commercials that you just shared.
Wonder who they are.
So first of all, I saw the commercial for Kate Brown Healing Essentials, and she is amazing. We're actually having her as a guest on our spiritual gathering this Sunday, so we can tell you how you can join us for that. And then Raksha Joshi, I'm like, these women are amazing. I'm so glad to be in their company here, and everybody listening in, please get in touch with them. They're amazing, amazing leaders.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. So now, this is the first question. How can you empty yourself of negative thoughts in order to move toward your purpose?
It's twofold. So there's a quick fix to help you in the moment. And then there's a deeper process to really get to the root cause of what the beliefs are. So the quick fix, one of them that you can use, is my favorite prayer called Ho'oponopono. It's the prayer of Ho'oponopono. And it's 4 simple sentences that as soon as you notice you're having a negative thought, which means you're not having a positive one, which means you're in your lower limbic brain, you're focused on the problem as opposed to the solution. The goal is to be able to get into those higher frequencies and higher brain waves. So you say these 4 simple sentences: I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. I have a few other techniques to help you create a quick physical shift that we don't have time for today, but look up Ho'oponopono. That will help you in the moment to release the angst and help you move beyond it. And then you've got to, if you really feel like, you're not getting where you want to go, if you are writing down, I want this year to be a better year, and this is going to be my year, or maybe you've said that too many years now and you can't even write that down anymore, but you feel there's more to life for you, then that becomes the work of digging in to where the root cause is and clearing the crap. And that's his specialty.
Okay.
I'd like to give you a simple starting point that I've used, and it's just have a little notepad in your pocket. And when you find yourself saying something negative, like, I don't like that person, or wherever it is, write it down on the left-hand side of the pad, of the notebook. And then the right-hand side, see if you can make it a positive statement. The person is doing the best they can. And what will happen, it might take a while to come up with something positive. You might be a bit charged about what the negative side is. But if you can do that, the next time you think, oh, I don't like that person. Oh, hang on. Oh, the person's doing the best they can.
Okay.
And then the third time, hopefully you'll go, I don't like, hang on. And you might go, eventually what happens is the positive aspect becomes the dominant thought.
Mm-hmm. It's retraining our brains.
Just retraining.
And creating new pathways, brain pathways.
Okay. Very interesting. And the other text says, kind of almost the same. How does one muster the courage to truly look in the mirror in order to face their demons?
I believe that we all have this stuff. Like, we all think that I'm the only one going through this.
Okay.
And it does take courage. I'll have to say that does take some courage to say, this is my line in the sand and I'm not going to put up with this anymore. But when we can recognize that everyone is going through the same thing, like there's not much difference with all of us. We just package it differently. And so if we can recognize that, it takes some pressure off ourselves, give yourself the same compassion that you give everyone else.
Very good. Yeah.
Very good advice. Very good advice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's see. Something else came in. Oh, okay. Margaret says, say it and believe it.
Yeah. I like to say that our words create our lives. And though there's a phrase that you may remember from some movies in childhood, abracadabra, right? Right? When it's somebody waves a magic wand, they go abracadabra, and then the magic happens. So abracadabra, the Arabic translation of that is actually, I create what I speak.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. So through the power of our words, we create our lives. We're affirming it. We're saying what it is that we want. So I love, I think it was Margaret that said that. I love that you said it. Say it and believe it. We are declaring, we are claiming it to be when we speak it.
And we have certain boundaries in our relationship to support that. And one of them is that we don't have put downs in public.
We don't really do it in private either.
We don't even do it. We actually call it. But when you go to a party and they try to do humor by putting down their partner, and I cringe.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you the story about how she did this or this. It's like, we actually have a conversation amongst ourselves, and we only talk positive stuff about each other in public. And I think it's really important to recognize, watch our language when we're out there. And our communication, the difference in my relationship with Nancy to all my other relationships in the past is our communication. We talk about things early. We need to go, can I talk about this? And what I've really loved about this relationship is I can say something that normally it's like, I'm going to say something I'm a bit scared, where I can just tell Nancy now and she doesn't react to it. She'll respond, but not react, and vice versa.
And if I do have a reaction, feeling hurt or sad or upset or angry at what he says, because I have worked on myself, I've looked in that mirror and had the courage for years and years and years, and because I own my life with 100% responsibility, when I get angry, mad, or sad, it's about me. It's not about him. So I need to take a look at, and here's another tenet from the process of Ho'oponopono. It goes much deeper than the 4 sentences. And if you want to learn more, reach out to me. The other tenet of Ho'oponopono is when you are experiencing an emotion right now, it's actually based upon a memory from the past. So if he were to say, which he wouldn't, but if he were to say something like, oh, you look fat in that, I might get hurt and upset. Or he might say, are you sure you want to wear those pants? And he's really trying to be helpful because he knows I care about my image. And if they don't look good, I wouldn't like that, right? So he's being helpful. I can see that, but my feelings could get hurt. When I notice my feelings hurt, I ask the question, why am I getting upset about this? He's really just trying to be helpful. I know he doesn't want to hurt me. Oh, my ex-husband, when I was in a verbally abusive relationship, he said that stuff to me all the time. So my emotion in this moment is actually from this memory. He loves me. He only wants to help me.
That's a good way to really look at it. And that takes practice.
Lots of practice. I'm still practicing.
And awareness. Awareness is the key to it. Like, awareness is the key to everything. To be aware enough of where that question of where is this coming from.
Yeah. And Margaret says, so true. Communication is the key. And communication with ourselves and others. Before we go any further, Nancy, we just mentioned just a little bit about the Women's Prosperity Network. I want you to tell my viewers all about the Women's Prosperity Network.
Okay. It is a really extraordinary community comprised of women such as Dr. Jan and Kate Brown and Raksha Joshi and thousands of others who have the common thread. So we talk about common threads earlier, right? The common thread of the people in our community. Yes, most of them are entrepreneurs and business owners. We have some career women that come. And what is the commonality is the heart-centered space from which we all come. It is also there because our community was created based upon the culture of caring about people. So let's go back to me finding my purpose and the stories. I love people. I love their stories. I love to see people expand and help them when they're in need. I like to be the one for people. So I've written a book, and this is my life philosophy and my way of being since I was a little kid. The book is called The One Philosophy, and it's about treating each and every person you meet as the one, with that same level of excitement and enthusiasm and interest as we tend to do if we think someone's the one that's going to give me tickets to a show or be my future spouse or my best client. When you come into our community, you feel the authentic care from each and every person that's there. Oh, look what she did.
Very
Impressive.
And this is very true. This is very true. What I like about Women's Prosperity Network is that, you know, if you're struggling with your business or you have questions to ask, you don't have to be some people, I'm not going to ask that question.
Yeah.
That's a dumb question, or I should know that. You feel free enough to just ask, the questions that you want to ask to help you. And I get so much information and so much knowledge from the other women who are there.
And they give of their knowledge and wisdom and heart freely, and we help each other. We truly help each other.
Truly help each other. And I'm so happy that I'm looking all on the side here for myself. And so, Barry, why don't we talk about, as soon as I take Nancy's call, yes, there you go. Let's talk about Life Vision Academy. What is that all about?
Good.
She's very good. Life Vision Academy, the essence of it is, people often say to me, I want to raise my vibration, or I want to raise my frequency. And in Life Vision Academy, we've separated vibration and frequency. Because one of the things I noticed, and I only noticed because I was there, I was doing all this meditation, all this internal work, which I call vibration, our inner connection to spirit, to God. And I was doing all of that, and yet my life sucked. I was broke, out of relationship, going nowhere. And I said, what's going on here? Like, I'm doing the work, but nothing was happening. So I actually traveled the world for 5 months and came back and recognized there's a difference between vibration and frequency. Mm-hmm. Vibration is our inner work. We've got to do that. We've got to make that connection to spirit. But there's a lot of spiritual people out there who are poor, broke, out of relationship. And I recognize the distinction is in frequency, which is external. That's like the law of attraction. Mm-hmm. That's your ability to manifest health, finances, relationship, and your life's purpose. And if you can raise that up, and the easiest way, by the way, to raise all of that is through gratitude. Mm-hmm. Like the number one starting point. It's not very sexy in terms of coming up with a brand new thing. We all know this. But doing gratitude every day will raise all aspects of your frequency, so that your vibration can go up, your frequency can go up, and then you start to allow miracles to turn up, like Nancy turning up in my life.
Or Barry turning up in my life, because I did his program and raised my vibration and frequency well before we were, a power couple.
All righty. So it's on the screen, people. And for those who are just audible only, just go to lifevisionacademy.com. That's lifevisionacademy.com. And I just wanted to show you something else.
Look at this.
Wow.
Books that Barry has written. OMG. Barry, 1, 2, 3. Look, that's all I could get on the screen. But if you go to Amazon.com, you can find all of Barry's books.
Nice.
So, Nancy, I know that you have, let me take Barry's books off. Mm-hmm. You have a free gift for the viewers.
Yeah.
So tell us about the free gift. gifts.
So you're going to get a little bit of me and a little bit of Barry. So we thought we'd, start the blend right here. So when you go to the link that Dr. Jan is sharing, and for those on audio only, it's nancymattthews.com. That's with 2 T's, nancymattthews.com/BAN, which is Barry and Nancy, BAN gifts. Wasn't that cute how I did that? Yeah. So there's 2 brief meditations. The one that I've put together for you is a visualization to connect with your future self. So especially for those, it's good for everybody. And if you were one that asked the question about finding your purpose, this is going to be a beautiful opportunity to connect with the you, that future you, that yearning that you have in that pit of your stomach to be completely free, financially, spiritually, mentally, physically, all of those ways. It's a visualization to take you there. And then Barry's is?
What I've done is I'm going to give you what's called the Vortex Bank Account. And this is for the people that say, where's my money? And I believe that we are born with this big, huge treasure of money stored in our invisible bank account. And so this visualization is, number one, recognizing that we all have that. That's yours. In other words, if you don't use it, no one else does. So it's not like someone else will miss out. And so what you can do in this visualization is access it and bring it into the physical world. How fun is that?
I'm going to do that.
It's really good.
I want to know, where is my money?
It's in the money.
It's in your Vortex bank account.
And so Margaret, last thing she says is care, love, compassionate, kindness, and uplifting each other. Yes, yes, yes. You know what? We have run out of time.
Oh, it was a beautiful conversation. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much. It has been enlightening, informative, motivational, inspirational. And, I was really excited, you all, to have Nancy and Barry on. I thought
we're excited too to be here.
And I want to say again, entrepreneurs out there, women who want to be, and men, even though it's the Women's Prosperity Network, but there's a couple of men in there. Yeah. You know what? Now, just say quickly, on, I think it's every 3rd Tuesday.
We have a networking event called Networking with a Twist. So that'll be coming up 2 more weeks, I think. Not this week, but next week.
Okay.
And you can come. We offer it twice in the day. And so come check us out. Come play and be the one for somebody, and let somebody be the one for you. Yeah.
So I recommend it. And we have one more comment, then we got to go. Margaret. Thank you, Nancy and Barry.
Thank you,
Margaret. Thank you, Dr. Jan.
And thank you, Nancy and Barry. Thank you, Margaret. Margaret, go to bed, because it's probably about 2:00 in the morning there now. But I appreciate you. But again, I want to thank both Nancy and Barry for being on my show this evening. And Greg Travis says, thank you, Nancy and Barry. Congratulations to you two as well. So I want you all to have a beautiful, where are you? You're in Florida?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Is it cold?
A little bit, not like you. We're good.
Cold is a relative term,
That's true. Okay. And Margaret says, okay, I'm going to bed now.
Oh, good.
So you all have a beautiful, blessed rest of your evening. And I look forward to speaking with you. Actually, Barry, I look forward to joining your academy. And Nancy, I will see you Monday.
Yes, you will. All right. Have a beautiful night. Thanks again.
Right. Thank you. Bye-bye. This has been wonderful. This has been great. I know they've given you a lot of value, and they have been just marvelous, marvelous guests, and just a beautiful, wonderful couple. So now, if you are looking to be on my show, just go to don't go there. Go to Relationship Matters TV at gmail.com, or just go on my Facebook page, Dr. Janice Hooker Fortman, and DM me. And I want to thank all of you for viewing and for commenting and for texting me. I couldn't get to all of the texts, but I really appreciate everyone who's watching my show. So I want you to remember, there are all kinds of relationships. There are all kinds of relationship matters. Life is all about relationships. So I will see you again next week on Relationship Matters TV.